What a killer intro, man!
That's so cool.
Feeling jazzed now. So, all right, this is literally the first time I've ever run this game. I made it, and you would think that I would have play tested it, especially knowing that this game was going to get played live on YouTube. But clearly, I'm not a pro level game designer here. So how about we take a minute first, start things off. Let's introduce ourselves, and let's start with you, Karina. If you would tell us who you are and what you're about.
Okay, hey everyone, I am Karina Kantas. I am an author of 14 fiction books. I'm also CEO of Author Assist, where I help authors with their marketing and promotion. I'm also the host of the Behind the Pen TV show, the radio show Author Assist, and the new show that is coming out January called Creative Inc.
Yeah. All right. And let's keep it going with Jessica.
I'm Jessica Nettles. I write historical fantasy and Southern Gothic horror. I have one novel, Children of Menlo Park. Go buy it.
Yes. And Jim.
I'm here. Wait, I'm here. What? Huh?
Are you?
Yeah, well, I'm Jim Nettles, so I write, a bunch of science fiction, urban fantasy, horror, bit of this, that, and the other. A whole bunch of nonfiction kind of stuff. I just lost my duck again, which I feel sure is not the last time for the evening. I have spares. I am also the host of Creating Pros, which is a show on the business side of creativity. I'm one of the founders and hosts over at the Continual Convention, where we're always, all the time doing all sorts of programming and creating sorts of mayhem. And I feel sure there's a couple of dozen more things in there too, but we'll go with that for now. I am here to be the agent of chaos for the evening. Pardon me while I find my duck.
And so I'll introduce myself real quick. I'm Bob McGough, best known for writing the Jubal County Saga, which is a series about a redneck wizard with a crippling meth addiction. But the reason I'm here tonight is one of my hobbies and passions is indie game design. And to date, I've designed over 30 different simple RPGs, ranging from one-sheet RPGs to ones that are slightly longer. And I am a huge proponent for one-sheet RPGs. Anytime I can, I always like to sing their praises. And so when I was asked, "Hey, Bob, why don't you come on do this thing with us?" I was so excited, and because I was like, "Ooh, great!" I actually offered to run a real person's one-sheet RPG instead of one I designed. They're like, "No, Bob, you've made all these. Let's play one of yours." So I appreciate their confidence. We'll see how much of a train wreck it proves to be. We're play testing this live, so let's get into it. This is Mount Mayhem. I'll read us the intro real quick. The entrance to the dungeon lies before you, a dank, ominous entrance to the world below, filled with giant spiders, eldritch horror, and devious traps. Man, your owners were idiots to go inside. You're real glad you get to sit out here and eat this tasty grass instead. So, y'all are not the adventurers. You are the mounts of the adventurers, and you're just chilling outside this dungeon. So,
I'm not that kind of girl.
So to get this started, we got to figure out what kind of mount are you? And in in a normal game, you would just roll the d6 and we'd see, you know, if we get multiple of the same thing, you know, we would just roll with it. But we're going to do it. We'll go in reverse order this time. We'll let Jim roll first. But
Ooh.
if we have duplicates, we'll re-roll so that each person gets to be something different. All right, so Jim, give me a d6 roll and let's see what kind of mount you are.
I am rolling for a d6 and I got a 6.
You are a big horse.
He
The
said
hat, I came complete with a hat, and I've been usually called a big ass.
There we go. Eerily appropriate. All right. Jessica, why don't you give us a d6 roll and let's see what you
Alrighty, let's see what we do here. I got a 4.
You are a
All right.
There we go.
Okay. Typecasting.
If y'all haven't picked up by this point, the tone of this game is definitely more on the silly side of things. All right, Karina, what do you got?
I got a 4 as well, so I'll throw again.
Yep.
I got a 5.
You're an elk.
And that's what I wanted. Look at that.
Oh,
Perfect.
nice.
Perfect. The dice are in your favor.
They are.
All right. So now that we know what kind of mount you are, we need to figure out who's your owner, because that's going to determine, you know, what kind of stuff might be in your saddlebag or whatever, you know. Do elk have saddlebags? I don't know. We'll figure it out as we play. So this time, Jessica, why don't you start us off?
Okay. Okay, I got a 1.
Your owner is the wizard Varia.
Nice.
So just make a note of that, because there's every chance in the world I will forget. All right, Karina, why don't you give us a roll?
I've got a number 1, so I'll throw it again. Jessica, I'll keep on following you.
Yeah.
What?
3.
Argus the dwarf.
Oh. Did you see him sitting on an elk?
Yeah, I love it. Need a ladder to get up there.
Oh, I love it.
All right, Jim.
I am going to go for another 6.
All right, you are the shadow thief. Dun, dun, dun.
All right, perfect.
All right. So here's what you need to keep in mind. I'm just going to read this real quick. You don't have hands. Hooves or paws. In y'all's case, it's all hooves. There's not a single opposable thumb to be had between the lot of you. You're also typically bigger than a human, so good luck squeezing into tight places. In this game, you cannot talk to humans. You can try and act out a message to them, you know, but that's it. You can, however, talk to each other. This is a fantasy world. Animals can talk to each other. We don't care that you're different species. You all speak animal, so you're good to go there. Your saddlebags and packs have all sorts of stuff in them. Granted, it's usually stuff that requires hands, but maybe you can work out how to get something out and use it. You're a smart critter. As for what specifically is in them, well, these are well-prepared heroes of legend, so really anything could be inside. Anything. Just ask, and the DM, me, will tell you yes or no. And there's a note that says, though he should be reasonable and tend to say yes to make things more fun. So that's what we'll try to do. So the last thing you need to determine about yourselves is you have a trick. Each of you has a trick, and it is your signature thing. Maybe it was trained into you, or perhaps it's a natural ability of some sort. You can get creative with this, but here are some suggestions as examples. You're extra fast. You can read human writing. You're a really good jumper. You can spit. You can carry extra heavy loads. You can loosen your saddle. So whatever it is, you just make it unique to you. So if one of you have an idea, you can go ahead and spit it out. And we'll just kind of go from there. But we can workshop this. So it doesn't have to be locked in. All right, Jessica.
So I can read. Because I'm a wizard's mount, I feel like I need to be able to read.
Perfect.
She probably taught me. Who knows?
Yeah. I like it. I like it. Okay.
We have the
Jim,
Shadow
Karina?
Thief has a great connection to animals. Now, as a horse, I'm a little stubborn. However, my best friend the duck has a psychic connection to the Shadow Thief. So I have the ability to quack at the duck because we all speak animal, but the duck can relay the message.
I like it. I like it. Okay. Psychic ducks. We're at the level of zaniness I was hoping we'd achieve, and we're 11 minutes in. So all right, Karina, do you have any
Well,
thoughts?
that was mine. Apart from the duck, I was going to take that idea. So, because my owner's a dwarf, and of course they dig underground, my hooves are extra strong. So I can dig, I can smash things. I'm powerful with my hooves.
I like it. I like it. All right, we got a good variety. So now we've just got to figure out what happened here. Actually, first I'll tell you, hey, how do you actually play this game? Real quick, if you want to do something, you're going to roll a d6, and if you roll odds, it happens. If you roll evens, it fails. And the higher the number is either the more successful you are or the more badly you fail. So it's that simple. That said, if you can involve your trick in some way, you get to roll 2 dice and pick which one to take. And if you can figure out something in your packs that might be helpful, you can add or subtract 1 from your roll as you wish. So there we are. That's how you play. So what has happened? And this I'm going to keep secret at first, and we'll reveal later. But there's 6 kind of built-in little scenarios that we could play. Oh, we got the one I wanted. So okay, cool. All right, you 3 are hanging out outside. Y'all have been let me bring up my notes. So this dungeon has no name. There's a symbol of an X over the top of the door. That's all you can see. It's dank, horrible place filled with the worst people imaginable. Your
It's
owners.
Elon Musk
Well,
office. Oh my God.
I was going to say the villain is Grammaticus the Elongated. He is a dark wizard that has made this dungeon into his lair, and your owners have gone in here to try and roust him out, and they've actually been they've been in there a while. They the commentary in the bottom is giving me life, and so they've been at it for a while, and y'all have had enough time that y'all have sat there and y'all have talked among yourselves, and y'all have just essentially decided that this is real dumb. There's no reason why y'all couldn't be doing this yourselves. Why are y'all standing outside waiting on the heroes when you yourselves could be the heroes? Y'all are awesome. Y'all have even got a bunch of gear already. So y'all have basically talked yourselves into becoming the adventurers. Y'all are going to be an adventuring party. So as adventurers, there's a whole world out here. There's even a dungeon here that you could try and go in there and explore yourselves, or you could say, you know what, this dungeon's dumb. I don't like the direction this weird X dungeon is heading. I'm going to go somewhere else. So the world is your oyster. What kind of things do you think you might want to do now that you're the adventurers?
All right, I think we can settle on they're dead now, right?
All right, we'll do it one at a time. Karina.
Our owners are in the dungeon. We saw them walk in.
Yes, they've been in there. I'm going to say they went in yesterday and they have not come out yet.
Okay.
All right, Jim.
So I think we can presume they're finally dead. They're not that bright, right? I mean, this.
Yeah.
Killing them off already.
They're stupid enough to go in there.
This is dialogue between us. Now,
Look. Y'all have long thought to yourselves that these guys are real not smart. That y'all could be doing this better. I'm not saying that they're dumb, but they're not as smart as y'all. So, yeah, they're probably dead.
great. So, does one of us have like a map or something?
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Jim, you've got a map in your pack. Now you've got to get it out, and it's folded up. But there is a map in your pack.
There's a map in my pack.
Yep.
All right, who can get the map out of my pack? So, Jess, you can read, right?
Yeah, I can read. I bet you I could get it out. How big are? Wait a minute. How tall are you? You're pretty big.
He's a big horse.
He's a big horse. But you're a big ram. You're big enough that
He can
people
sit
ride
anyway.
you.
He can go down on
Fine,
the floor.
I'm gonna
apparently.
Yeah, he
crouch
can sit down.
down just so I can get to you short people. God, it's gonna be a bitch to get back up.
All right.
Complaining already.
Yeah. Just if you would give me just a roll just to see if you're trying to mouth a map out of this pack.
All right. I rolled odd. I rolled a 3.
Perfect. All right, you get this map out. You pull it out, and it kind of falls to the ground. And it was folded up, but as it flutters and falls down, it kind of falls open a bit, not like totally, but enough that you can kind of see it.
Okay.
As you kind of give it a little bit of a glance, you see that in your vicinity, you see a symbol. Looks like a star.
Mm-hmm.
And but beneath that, you see it says Shrine to Jovan. And then you see that there's a kind of also nearby. There's clearly a village of some sort. It looks so. The name of it is Atlanta, and it is a place where you see a lot of roads really come together in this place. It's a jumbled mess of roads. And then last, you see that there is a large forest on the map, and you see within that, you see that there is a little symbol, looks like a hut, and you see the name Stevius underneath it.
Oh, okay.
I vote for
So
Stevius. Let's go to the forest.
Hey, wait. Does Atlanta? Last time I was there, I had some peach tree wine stuff that we got into. Is there still a horse house there?
Yeah, there is. It's strange. Atlanta is quite known for its peaches. All sorts of peaches. Any variety. Peach mead, peach ale, peach wine. You also know that the roads there are frequently backed up. There's a lot of carriage wrecks there. So
yeah, we ain't doing that again.
Have we been there as a party before?
Y'all have
we visited there before?
Y'all have not. Y'all kind of came from the other way. Like y'all came from the west, and Atlanta is to the east.
Well, we probably cut through Douglasville then.
Yeah. Stevius is a little to the north, and the Shrine to Jovan is a little to the south.
Okay. So I read out loud so that all of us can imbibe in this lovely map. So which way do you want to go? Do we want to go north? Do we want to go south? Or do we want to go to the big city or the big village?
Roads scare me. I can't. Too much traffic. Very scary for me.
Yeah,
I vote
big
for the forest.
Kind of scary for me too.
I think I've been to this Atlanta place before. I got rear-ended there.
Ouch.
All right, so we thinking we're heading to the forest.
I'm okay with the forest.
Okay. All right. So you can actually, from where y'all are, so this y'all are in kind of a bit of a, imagine that there's a ravine of sorts that's going down, and this dungeon entrance is in the side of the ravine wall. And yes, someone would get a middle hoof going into Atlanta. But so y'all kind of come out of the ravine a little bit, and you see it's a fairly open, broad expanse, kind of low rolling hills. But as you look to the north, you can see the forest. It's a dense, old growth forest. Very Black Forest of Germany, very, very gorgeous, kind of old world style forest to help paint that picture. Lots of oaks. It's much more hardwoods than soft. It's more oaks and things of that nature than, say, pines. So y'all are pretty quick. Y'all are far quicker than I would be. So really, it's for y'all. It's probably just a couple hours to get to the edge of the forest, and then you don't really know how far it'll be, but you guess, judging if this map is proportionate, you would think that Stevius is somewhere probably within 2 hours of the edge of the forest. So not days in, but close enough that you could get to him. Probably you could get there before dark.
Okay.
All right. So we're heading north. Is there anything that you would like to do as you travel, or is there anything you'd like to do before you travel?
Well, let's packed up the map in case.
Yeah, it's much easier getting it back in. It's got a little bit of ram spit on it.
Well, of course.
You get it
I'm
back
okay
in pretty easily. Not a problem.
I'm just gonna peep inside the dungeon door just to see if I can hear anything before we leave.
Okay. All right. Go. You get to the mouth of the dungeon. If you would give me a roll.
6.
6. You have to kind of duck down, and your antlers, they're so spread out that even ducking down, you feel them graze the top, and you're standing there and you're just kind of listening, and faintly down in there, you hear. It's almost comical, the sounds that you hear in the distance. Imagine like the old Wile E. Coyote cartoons. You hear the fighting going off in the distance, and as you're standing there, literally like the head of a skeleton slightly on fire just goes rolling by. Goes rolling by. It just reaffirms that, man, you really don't want to be in there.
We're not going in there. Yeah. I'm going to gallop off with the other two now.
Yeah. All right.
Does that smell like crisp adventurer in there?
It's
getting hungry.
It's at least heavily singed adventurer going on in there. All right. So y'all begin to travel north, and Jim, give me a roll.
Give you a roll. I shall roll, and I got a 2.
A 2. Okay. So as you're going, y'all are just traipsing along. First off, how quicker are y'all? Y'all have been rested. Y'all have basically been standing around for, at this point, about a day and a half. So how quickly are y'all going? Are y'all just taking your time?
I can gallop. Jim can gallop.
I'm trotting. I am
gallop.
not running my ass anywhere. I ain't doing nothing. I'm trotting.
He's trotting.
Okay.
Okay.
So all right. So steady trot.
I'm gonna gallop. I'm just gonna gallop ahead and make sure we're okay. I'll be the lookout while I wait for the others to come.
Yeah. So
I'm old, I'm tired, I'm cranky. I ain't doing nothing.
As you are going, Karina, as you're a little bit ahead, you see a couple of men they look pretty rough around the edges. These do not look like your owners. They you know they
They're
are
hunters.
they are armed, but you see that one has a bow and one has what looks to be a quarterstaff. But they don't they don't look like heroes of legend, shall we say.
Mm.
We're talking very rough 5 o'clock shadows. One's got, an eye patch on.
Okay, how
They're
far are they in front of me?
So I'm going to say that when you see them, they're about 50 yards ahead of you and kind of to your right.
And they're on our path.
Well, so there's not really a path. Y'all are just kind of crossing, and these rolling plains. And so these guys, you have not seen a path. They are kind of look like they're hanging out in bushes, kind of like there's a little bit of overgrowth here, couple shrubs, maybe a couple stunted trees, and they're just kind of look like they're just hanging loose there. And that's what you
Okay.
see.
I'm going to watch them for a little bit because I'm still waiting for Slow Coach to turn up, so we've got time.
Okay, so you're watching, and let me see. Okay, all right. After a few minutes, and you see these guys. They're like one's picking his nose. One keeps pulling out a flask. They're just pretty oblivious. You think that they would have noticed this giant elk standing not 50 yards away, but they rolled poorly. So you watch them for about 10 minutes without any sort of interruption when you hear the clop 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 of your compatriots coming up.
Okay, I'm going to go back now and meet them and let them know what's going on.
Okay. All right. So you turn, 10 seconds later, y'all are all reunited, and it feels so good. All right. So, Karina, what do you tell them?
Just to let you know, there's two guys ahead, two probably hunters by the looks of them. They've got weapons. They look a bit out of it, maybe drunk. Certainly didn't see me standing there. What do you want to do? Shall we go round? Shall we go up to them?
How much booze they got?
I saw a flask.
I mean,
So-
we could go around them and attack them and make sure they don't hunt anybody else out. They sound like they'd be easy pickings, and then he could get his drink if he really wanted to.
So we'll.
I'm not
attack
above
them, yeah?
getting them. Yeah, let's attack them. Why not?
All right, let's do this.
Charge!
I love
Charge!
it. Okay. I love this. All right. So the three of y'all charge. I want how about each of you give me a roll, and I'm going to do a little roll. I assume y'all are not at all trying to be quiet. You're just going for
We're
it,
going
right?
for it, yeah.
If I ever look
I'm
quiet,
Yeah,
there's no
charge.
sneaking
the
from
stealth
me,
is
man.
not as I roll a 1.
All right. All right.
I got a
hey,
5.
A 5?
I got a 2.
Okay. So, I mean, as long as it's odd, it is absolutely a success. So I'm going to say that, you know what? We never gave your characters names, I feel really
Oh,
bad
I
about
named
that.
mine.
Oh, okay.
Ellie
Ellie,
the elk.
Jessica, Ellie the elk. I like it.
Mine is Brahmanya, but just call her Manya.
Manya. Okay. Jim.
Mine's glue bait.
Blue
Sorry.
Bay. Okay.
All right.
Your owner loved you, man.
Yeah.
He was an ass.
Yep.
All right. So Glue Bait and Ellie, y'all kind of quickly kind of take the front. Manya
Yeah.
is really not built for speed, really built for just, like that endurance kind of deal. So the elk and the horse kind of quickly take the lead. And y'all are essentially on these guys before they even realize it. One, you see one, as y'all are riding up, has like the flask to his lips, and he turns like, what? And the other guy was taking a leak on a tree and has his back to you, and
Oh, I get him with my antler.
and he kind of like he like whips around. So he pretty quickly grabs up his stick, and the one with the flask, he was the one with the bow and arrow, but with the flask in his hand, the bow is kind of leaned up against a stump, so he's got these arrows, and he like quickly tries to like fish out an arrow to like thrust at y'all. So this is not a game with hit points. This is not a game with stats. This game is not serious enough for anything like that. So combat is really not a I swing and they swing back. It's really you just kind of roll. Tell me what you're doing, and then I will roll against you. And whoever scores highest, what they say happens. And if you just do really, really, really bad, you're probably going to get knocked out or something to that effect. But we're here to have fun. We're not here to all die against two hunters in a shrub. So, all right. So, Karina and Jim, I will let y'all go first, kind of at the same time. So, how do y'all want? What are your thoughts? Or one of you going for one? One's going for the other?
Yeah, I'll charge for the guy who's having the piss on the tree. My
Okay,
I'm
antlers
going
are
for the guy
down,
with the
and I am
flask.
going for it.
flask. Okay,
I'm going for the
all right,
guy with the flask.
all right. And do you tell me a little bit about what you do? Like, are you looking to kill? You looking to maim? Like, where are we at
I'm
on
going
this?
to lower my head and run him over without spilling a drop so that I can get to him.
Okay, all right. So we're going for the non-flask spilling attack, and then what is Ellie going to do?
Well, he's just turned around, and
Yep.
I've just seen this lovely target. I'm going to go straight for it. It's just sitting there, hanging there. And he's got his hands up there with his weapon, and it's
Yeah.
just calling for me. So
Yeah.
my head's down, the antlers are ready to
Of
nail
course,
him,
of course.
nail it.
All right. All right. Glue-bait, give me a roll.
A 4.
A 4. Okay. All right. So you head down. He realizes you're bigger than him. You probably outweigh him by like 1,000 pounds. He pretty quickly realizes that him holding an arrow is not really going to work against a trained war horse, which you probably are or could have been in a previous life. And so
I was before I was so subtly retired and then plucked from my retirement.
right. And so what actually happens is he at the last minute decides he's going to try and run, but he does a whole like throws his hands up, and to your horror, the flask hits the ground, lands on its side, and you're pretty sure that you saw at least some liquid pouring out of it. So
I'm going to stomp his head.
all right, so he is running for a tree, and you are right behind him. But quickly, let's pan to Ellie. What did you get?
I got a 3.
Got a 3. So oh god, my ginger cringes as you cripple the dick, as the comments say. You come running in, and your antlers are thusly And you have kind of like the small tines towards the base of it. You basically scoop him up, small tines getting his giblets, and you flip him up into the air, and he slams into the tree. And he shrieks as he does it, and then he lands.
He's unconscious now.
Oh, he wishes he was unconscious. Manya, you are now on the scene. You have caught up. What would you like to do?
I'm taking stock of the situation, and I realize that if I go after the guy that the big horse is going after, I'm probably going to get stomped by the big horse because he's so much bigger than me. And I'm looking at the situation with the guy with her, and I'm like, I could probably help take him out. That could be fun. Let's see how far I can butt him. And I'm like, I dig in and I go and lower my head and go for it. Let's see how far I can punt this dude.
Yeah,
I've always wondered how far that could go. Huh?
All
Let's find out.
Give me a roll.
Okay. All right. I won't. I don't even believe this. I got a 1.
Oh, hey, look, that's
great.
yeah.
That's odd. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's a 1.
Yeah. Inside baseball, the reason why odd is always a success is because I'm an odd guy. So, and that's why I picked it. But all right, so yeah, you run, and you because Ellie is kind of all over him. You can't get all the full speed, so you know that you're gonna. This is not your best showing. You know that you have a better bunt in you, but you still do bunt him. And how about you just give me a roll, and we're gonna see how many yards he goes flying.
Okay. So I got a 3 this time.
A 3? Okay. So he goes, and I'm gonna say that it will. We're doing on the fly rules here. So your bunts are whatever you roll in yards times what you initially rolled. So he goes 3 yards, he goes flying back, smacks into a tree, and slumps down. He is now, for him, blessedly unconscious. He's lying there. He is out of it. He's bleeding in his nethers. It's not a good time. Jim, you're an enraged horse.
I'm gonna knock him down.
Yeah.
I don't want to kill him. I just want to knock him down and put a paw on him, hold him down to have a conversation.
All right. Give me a roll.
And we get the 4 again.
All right. You need me dice.
I'm swapping dice.
Yeah.
I've been going back and forth between the two.
Yeah. The dice. Look, the dice. The dice will what the dice will. All right. So you are chasing this guy, and you have it like you're just so angry that you're not really thinking clearly. Like you're so big, you could very easily have just knocked him over, but you have something in mind, but you're just so and he ducks behind a tree like last second, like right before you get to him, he ducks behind this tree, and you kind of zoop by him. All right, so now everyone, there are 3 of you roughly in a triangle around a guy with an eye patch, who's basically hugged up to a tree and looks like he's about to start trying to climb this tree. So what would y'all like to do?
I want to go over to the guy who's unconscious and have a look and see if he's carrying anything, if he's got anything that we can use or we need. Yeah.
All right. You walk over to him. You look down. You see that he has he's got a pouch on his side. You see that he's got a belt. He's got a dagger. But mostly you see that just that pouch. You don't see any like food bags or anything. It looks like a money pouch.
Yeah,
So
my antler can rip the
choop.
leather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Choop. All right. I'm going to say you now have a little money pouch hanging from your
Hang
antler.
on the antler. Yeah.
All right.
Got the dagger as well. Got the dagger in my mouth.
I love it. I love the pirate look. It's Ellie the pirate elk. I love it. All right, Manya, what do you got going on? What are you feeling?
I'm gonna wander over to the dude with the eye patch trying to climb the tree. How far up the tree is he right now?
With the roll I just did, he's basically like jumping for a limb that he just can't quite reach.
Go get him.
I will. I gotta go over to him, and you know what? I think I'm
Rammy's
gonna butt
ass.
him.
Yeah, Rammy's ass.
Butt him too. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Let's lower my head. Let's go for it. Why not?
Yeah. You got a record. You got a record to beat.
Let's do. All right. So I got a 1.
Okay. All right. So you have hit him, and let's get another roll to see how many yards he goes.
And I rolled a 3 again. I like
All right.
this guy.
All right. So you're consistent. You're starting to get your methodology down here. And you bunt him, and he basically flies forward and kind of falls flat down. Jim, you have kind of turned, and you turn just in time to see Manya knock this guy to the ground.
So I'm going to charge over so I can get nose to nose with him.
All right, you're there. You are leaned down, and he does that kind of like look up thing, and he's just kind of he is bewildered and frozen. And
I'm going to ask Quackers.
Yeah.
Please commence with your psychic attack to tell me, is this being of any use at all for us? And does he have an extra flask?
Quackers, you see this guy like, and like you've always known that Quackers was a little out there, but like, you know, the shadow thief was used to it, but this is the first time you've ever seen Quackers like use his psychic abilities on someone else. And like you just see, like, you look into this guy's eyes and you see like the cosmic void, like his eyes start to bleed. You just see that he's racked with like eldritch horror at from Quackers, obviously, who is a far more terrifying entity than you ever knew. And so Quackers fries this guy's brain essentially and pulls from it that he is these two guys are just a couple of bandits. They're part of a larger band that have been waylaying travelers along the main road on the way to Atlanta. And these guys had spent the morning out doing bandity things. And they were waiting on everyone else to come back, and they would kind of divvy up the spoils. They were just the first ones to come back to this point. This is like the meeting spot that they all agreed on. And yes, he does. There is a full bottle of whiskey in their packs, which are somewhere around. But yeah,
is he alive and just a vegetable now? Or is he
dead? He is alive, but is quaking in fear. He's out of it. He is. Can you just imagine? Just imagine your day. You're just hanging out, and an elk, a horse, and a ram just attack you from out of nowhere. It's not a good day for him. I mean, to be fair, he deserves it, but still, not a good day for him. So yes, he is alive. But he's not really doing anything. He's just kind of laying there quaking with fear.
So we know that this is the meeting place for the rest of them all to meet up. So we really need to get out of here, guys.
You know that there's at least 4 other bandits out there. according to this guy's memories.
Yeah, we're outnumbered. We need to start
I'm
trotting
going
on.
to whiz on him.
as you do.
I'm marking.
Can I go through his bag?
I think we're going to take them, aren't we?
You will have to
Yeah.
look for. You do not see their packs.
Oh, okay. Does he have anything left on him?
He has a quiver of arrows. About half the arrows fell out, so they're kind of scattered about. But there's like about a dozen arrows in his quiver. And he also has a knife on his belt. But you do know from quackers that there are packs here. You just don't see them.
But we're not going to. We don't have time to look for them.
Well, we can have a quick look while
we can have a look.
I think while we leave, we can look around quickly.
Okay. I take out his arrows and break them with my hooves.
Yeah.
Just for meanness.
I like it. I like it. Yeah.
Can I pull the dagger out and carry it in my teeth?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. We now have two dagger wielding mounts, and it's adorably terrifying. All right. So, do y'all want to look for the packs?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, give me a roll.
I got a 1.
A 1, a 3, and
a 4.
All right. Who got the 3?
I did.
Okay. The 3, you find one of the packs, but y'all do not find the other. Jim, you're going to give me a roll. If you roll odd, this is the pack with the bottle of whiskey in it.
God damn it, I got a 2.
Well, I feel like this is quickly becoming the quest for glue bait need to drink.
We have goals.
Yeah. But so you find this pack. It's basically just a sack that y'all are. This is easy peasy for y'all. You get it open. Mostly what you find in here is like some bread and cheese and just some food to stuff.
Yeah.
It's not real interesting to y'all. I don't know. I guess cheese. I don't know.
However,
will eat about anything.
Yeah, I know the ram will.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's an
good.
assortment of bread and cheese.
How hungry are we?
Yeah, we're going to eat before we leave.
Yeah, y'all like super hungry, but yeah,
It's there for the taking. You might as well eat it.
Yeah, you could have a nosh. You could have a nosh.
Take it for later.
Yeah.
The guy that made me chase him, I'm gonna roll him over and I'm gonna take a bite out of his ass.
All right. Okay. Yeah. He at this point, the one guy is still unconscious, and the guy who's like quivering in fear, he's basically like crawled over to the base of the tree that he was trying to climb up. He's given up on trying to climb the tree, but he's just kind of like, cowering in fear, and you just walk up and just bite the shit out of him. And, he doesn't even seem that fazed by it. Like, it hurts. Obviously it hurts, but like at this point, it's like, it's almost like he expected it. He's like, this is the day I'm having. This is the day I'm having. Luckily, y'all didn't find his whiskey, so he can drink away his sorrows once y'all leave. But Jim, there is the flask. There could still be some in the flask. You do see the flask over there. You will have to
the flask.
You will have to spit out the dagger to.
I'll put it down on the ground.
Okay, and give me a roll to see.
A 1.
All right. You get there, and like, it's hard. Like, it's basically a flat flask on the ground, and you kind of you eventually kind of get it, and you kick it back. And there's just enough in there for like a shot. Like, it's enough to, yeah, that's what I was looking for. It's real not good. It's not good whiskey. These are not great bandits, but any port in a storm. So you're feeling pretty good about this. This is you realize that, yeah, you're probably a functional alcoholic of a horse. But
I've been dealing with a rogue for this long. What do you want?
All right.
Yeah, I vote
So,
we get out of Dodge now.
all right. Y'all wanna
Let's
y'all
go.
wanna y'all wanna book it? Okay.
But there's more of them coming. We could start up a skirmish. How long could it take to wipe them out?
For what reason?
Why not?
I guess y'all
It
like
was
you
kind
know
of fun.
we
It was
said
But-
fun, but what did we
we-
get out of it? Oh, sorry. Yeah, you got
not
your
much.
whiskey.
Some cheese, and a biscuit.
we did say that y'all decided y'all wanted to go
Revenge
adventure.
on the humans.
Yeah, y'all are going adventuring for yourselves, and we've never really said what does that look like. Are y'all
Yeah.
just kind of finding your way? Do you have a goal in mind? I know we're heading to Stevious's place,
Hmm.
but this is as we're going,
mean-
as you're finding yourself. Maybe maybe there are specific goals you have in mind. Obviously,
I mean, they're
Blue
bad
Bait wants to get
guys.
drunk.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
bad guys, and I mean, maybe
Or
we do
I have-
good by
I have
beating their
issues.
ass, and maybe we'll find that whiskey for him, and
I wanna find a mate.
everybody's happy then. Pardon?
Ellie needs a mate.
Ellie needs a mate. All right. Okay.
You might find a mate. We could all
Well-
have something we're happy about then.
All right. So we're requesting for a mate, a drink, and to be a better hero than the
To
people
be a
y'all
better
left in-
hero than the heroes we were with, right?
Yeah, I like it. Okay. So y'all decide. Y'all are pretty close to the woods at this point. You can make it quick trot. You're there, no time. Y'all scuttle across the plain. Y'all reach the forest, and y'all are instantly it's gorgeous, but it's a lot darker than you thought it would be. The trees are so close together, and such an old forest that the trees basically all grow into just a continuous mass above you. So even though it's a gorgeous spring afternoon at this point, not as much light as you would think kind of filters in, but when it does, it's that just stereotypical movie scene of like ray of sunshine coming down. And I mean, this place is like just oozes magic.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it just oozes magic. Like you walk into a clearing and you see like a rusted sword stuck into a stone. Like you just feel that like every place you go is just someone's failed quest or quest waiting to happen. There are all sorts of other animals around as well. Most of them are woodland creatures. There's a lot of birds. You see one portly little badger who goes, scurrying by. Most of them don't really pay y'all too much attention. They're kind of just content to let y'all go. They do pay Ellie a little more attention, kind of that like, oh, Ellie's our people. Ellie's clearly from the forest. And so Ellie gets maybe like a polite nod from a squirrel here and there. But for the most part, they just kind of let you be.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a little conversation with them while we're walking around. Just
Yeah.
get what's going on. Where's good to go hang out. Where should I avoid? Get some info off them.
Yeah, everyone says they find out that you're heading for Stevius, and everyone's like, "No, that's the place to be. Stevius is great. Stevius is, as people go, Stevius is cool. He's cool." So they're excited, like, "Oh, you're gonna love him. He's great. He's a druid. You'll love him." They tell you that he lives right on the edge of like a marshy, swampy kind of area, but it's still there in the forest. They basically tell you, "Oh yeah, no, this is going to be super quick. You're going to go left at the split elm, when you get to the red boulder, hang a, go north, yada yada." They tell you quickly how to get there. Is there anything else that y'all would like to do now that you're in the forest?
I'm going to ask my Eldritch Horror Duck, so Howard Jr.
Yeah.
Anything that we ought to know here?
Give me a roll.
I get a 1.
Roll for duck. You get a 1. uh,
I'm so ducked.
you Quackers says that this forest was planted over the ruins of a battle between two gods millennia ago. But he was there for it. He saw it. But he says nothing really of note. That nothing springs to mind that you would need to know that he's aware of. So,
Dude, you didn't look a day over 1,000. I know they have great feathers, but
he's had a lot of plastic surgery.
So have I ever heard the wizard say anything about this forest or tell anything?
Give me a roll to see if you recall something.
I got a 3.
You got a 3. The wizard, at various times when they were talking about going into this dungeon, they were trying to figure out like where did Grammaticus get his powers from? And the wizard's theory was that he had found an object of power within this ancient forest, and that's where he got his powers. But this being a fairly positive place, that his evil necromantic abilities didn't really mesh well here, so he was driven from the forest, and that's why he set up shop in the dungeon. So but it was just a theory, as good a theory as any other, but that's what springs to mind.
Okay.
All right.
Add to the conversation.
Yeah. Y'all travel on. And the air starts to get a little more thick, a little more humid, gets kind of a peaty kind of smell to it. There's a little, you start to see like wisps. Yeah, you start to see like
in Georgia.
Wisps of fog on the ground. Your tails are going over time as they're swatting at flies and mosquitoes and whatnot. But you come to a house on stilts right on the edge of the marsh. It's basically just like a one-room kind of circular hut on kind of thick wooden pillars sunk into the swamp. And there's a little almost bridge that kind of like a mix between a bridge and stairs that kind of goes up to it. And you see there's a little chimney and a little bit of smoke kind of coming out of it. Yeah, that's what you see.
So we're where we're supposed to be then. Stephen is what he's called?
Yep. Stevius, yeah.
Oh, let's
go. Does he have any
to
signs on the...
You do not see any signs. You see a symbol that I think, Manya, you would stand the best chance of recognizing it. So give me a roll.
Okay. I got a 1.
1. You know that this is just a symbol of like common to druids. So it's marking some sort of druidic order that you assume that Stevius is a part of. You don't know which one though. There's a million of them, and that's nature magic, and your owner really looked down on it, so didn't pay it much attention.
Right.
So,
so I think we're in the right place because that's a druid mark. Yeah.
My question is, how are we going to get his attention, and why do we want his attention? And we can't speak to him, so what we doing here, basically?
Karina, Ellie might have a snippet of knowledge, being from the forest. Give me a roll. Let's see if Ellie can remember something useful about druids.
3.
3. Ellie, from her early days when she still lived entirely in the forest, she remembers that druids, they can't always talk to animals, but they can cast a spell that will allow them to speak to animals for periods of time. So you could speak to him.
Okay. What to ask him now? I'm trying to think. What are we looking for, guys? What do we want to find this magic relic and try and get some power for ourselves?
I'm just gonna go bang my hooves up against the thing and say, "Hey, asshole, come out."
You're going to ask him if he's got any booze inside, then.
I think
mean,
that's his goal.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really want any real power for myself and like magic. That's scary shit. I don't know. After seeing what I saw back there with that necromancer, I don't know if I want that shit.
Yeah.
Quackers is kind of interested.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, Quackers is a little Quackers.
Yeah.
That's kinda
Quackers
scary,
probably
too.
Quackers probably should have been back in the dungeon alongside Grammaticus.
Yeah.
So I'm going to knock on his front door then.
Okay.
Yeah, clippity clop.
Y'all are a little too big to like go up this this little bridgey stair thing, but it's wooden, so y'all can, instead of like knocking on the door, y'all can basically come up and like clomp your hooves on the wood here, and it resonates. And you
I'm gonna release my best warhorse bellow.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm all right. So bear in mind, I'm terrible with voices. I very rarely do them, but this was silly, and this was a chance for a joke, so we're gonna go with it. You knock. There's a bellow, warhorse bellow, and you hear like a clatter inside the hut, and out comes this man in a brown robe. He's got it's really like tan. It's like a light tan robe. That's a lot shorter than robes. Like everyone you've ever seen, if they're wearing robes, they're like down to their ankles. This guy's robes come down like mid thigh. All right,
Yeah,
it's
Roman toga.
pretty short kind of robe, very tan, and he sees y'all standing there. He kind of stops for a second, and he says, you see him kind of like quickly, like he goes into his pouch and he pulls out an acorn and he like sticks it under his tongue, and you see him kind of mumble, and when he pulls it out, he says, "Good day, mates. I'm Stavius Irvine, the druid.
Oh.
What can I do you for?"
Got any booze?
It's like, what do you know? I got a couple Fosters in the chili bin. Let me go run grab that for you real quick. And he sure enough, he goes back inside, comes back out with he's got a like a tin, like a pewter mug for himself, and he's got like a bowl that he comes and he kind of happily comes on down, trundles down the stairs, and sets it on the ground there in front of you. It's like,
all right,
cheers,
I'm
mate.
happy.
Yeah, cheers, mate. So, what brings y'all here?
Well, is there any other elk in the forest? I'm looking for the elks.
Oh yeah, loads. We got loads of bloody elk. I gotta say, a gorgeous looking elk like yourself will have no problem fitting in back with that crew. They're a gorgeous bunch.
Where are they? Tell me where they are. Tell me which way do I go? Left, right, straight? I mean, how long will it take me to find them?
She's not
How many are
excited.
there, you know?
Yeah, no, perfect. Yeah, no, great.
Obviously, it's been a while she's found an elk.
Yeah. I have to say, there's an odd musk about your atlas there. Um, uh, yeah, no, just
I'll go
and
have a wash in the river. No worries.
he basically explains to you, in a terrible Australian accent, how you go around the swamp, uh, and you'll be in Elk Central. It kind of the farther more that way you go, the more elk there are because it starts to get farther more north. It starts to cool a bit.
Yay! Yippity
Uh,
yay!
yeah. So all right, I know we're not. So the beauty of these one sheets is you can kind of uh, they can be as long or as short as you want them to be. So I know we don't have all night to do this. So let's start kind of winding it down. And so we've got Ellie. Y'all decided y'all want to go adventuring for yourselves. Ellie stated wanted to find other elk, kind of head in that direction. Gluebait wanted to drink, and has found a drink. Manya, you're here. What are you wanting to get out of this encounter? Is there something
Well,
that Stevius can do for you?
I'm sitting here thinking about this, and I've had Manya had fun just escaping. Mostly, she just wanted to escape and try this hero thing for herself because she watched the humans do it and do it stupidly, and she's like, "This is stupid. I could do this better." And she found out that she could do it, so she's already gotten what she wanted out of it. She beat up some bad guys, and she's like, "This is pretty cool."
I love
So,
it.
I mean, if she could stay in the forest and just kind of monitor the forest, that would be great.
Yeah.
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 Love it.
Yeah. I love it. So we're kind of wrapping it up here. Here's how I see. Y'all kind of go your separate ways a bit. Ellie heads more north into the forest and encounters a number of elk, and she pretty quickly, having been out and seen the world, they're pretty impressed, and she pretty quickly becomes a leader among the elk community. Finds just an absolutely gorgeous elk with a slightly smaller but no less impressive rack. And they have a delightful time together. Meanwhile, Gluebait basically hangs around Stevious's
Quackers
clearing.
is telling me here.
Well, Quackers thinks that this swamp could be, where one of these gods who battled, maybe the swamp is the dead god's blood, and he wants you to hang loose because he kind of wants to explore the swamp a bit. And you basically, Gluebait, become the assistant brewmaster to Stevius as he brews just really absolutely god awful swamp whiskey.
A bad
And
word.
yeah. And so Manya, I feel like you basically become the protector of the forest. You've seen how adventurers do. When Stevius heard about y'all's adventure and was like, "Oh man, yeah, no, you're natural on this." And so you basically become you kind of roam the borders, keeping an eye on things, keeping hunters out, running out bandits. And
Mhm.
anytime that there's any sort of like, there's just more of them than I can handle. You, Gluebait and Ellie are in the forest. The three of y'all get the gang back together, and y'all go wreak havoc, and really become absolute legends. Centuries later, there are still legends being told about these forest protectors that uh, uh, have kept the forest safe from humans. So, yeah, I think that kind of I'll admit I wasn't sure how long this was supposed to go to go. So I thought an hour rough. Normally, when I run one sheets, they go for an hour, hour and a half or so. So, I mean, sometimes they go longer, but I felt like we were kind of heading to a natural stopping point, that we can always knock the dust off at a later date and dive into some specific adventures. Um, I don't know. I don't know. So, yeah, I guess that's it. I was woefully, when we were sitting back there in the Steam Lab or StreamYard or whatever it's called pre-show, a wiser man would have asked questions like, "Hey, what am I supposed to do?"
I thought we were
But
going to
I
go in
didn't.
the dungeon and save our masters. I thought that's what we were going to do, and then there was
W-
going
I
to be
had
all
no idea.
fantasy and what have you inside.
Yeah.
See, and I had a whole new storyline going where Howard Quackers, the duck, was cursed by your bad Aussie.
Oh.
That's the reason he was at the. He was going to be seeking revenge.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is what
No.
happens when you play with writers.
Yeah. So,
But no, Quackers is disappointed. But he will live to fight another day.
that's fair.
Oh,
That's fair. Well, all right, guys. How about we just take another moment? Everyone kind of we'll go the other way this well, hell, I don't remember which way we went last time, but Jim, why don't you start us off? Tell us who you are, where people can find you, what you're about, and we'll go from there.
Well, again, you can find me at jamespnettles.com. That'll take you to all the kind of fun stuff. Right now, since we're in the holiday season, you ought to pick up the Krampus Claus, which is a nice little fun, kind of young adult holiday horror, nice little creepy story. Or for Christmas gifts, you can pick up the latest book that just came out back in the summer, which is Fairy Films, We Folk on the Big Screen, or for those writerly types, second edition of Business Essentials for Writers just came out not long ago. I got some new workshop stuff that'll be kicking off here in January, which you can find at the site. You can get more stuff from creatingpros.com, or stop in over by the Continual Convention as well to see some of the shows and stuff we're doing over there.
All right. How about the other Nettles?
all right. I'm Jessica Nettles. You can find me at jessicanettlesauthor.com. You can find me on all the social medias. If you're interested in my books, you can find Children of Menlo Park on Amazon, or if you'd rather shop somewhere other than Amazon, you can go to falstaffbooks.com. You can also find my anthologies, which include Lonely Hollows and League of Monsters. My brain went blank for a second. It's late. I'm also around on Continual at different panels during the holiday season. Come see us. We have fun.
Yeah, we'll drag Karina in one of these
I keep
days.
saying I've got to get in there. Yeah. I
Oh
really
yeah,
do.
it's really fun.
Yeah. And Karina.
So, yeah, it's Christmas time. So pop out, get one of our books, everyone's book, go out and get one of our books. My bestseller is a dark mafia romance. If you like the explicit, some real tough graphics, check it out. It's translated into, I've just got to write this down because I can't remember, Italian, French, Greek, Russian, and soon to be Spanish. It's also won 4 book awards. So look out for Broken Chains. You can go over to Explosive Writer, check out the reviews and the links for the book there.
Love it. Again, I'm Bob McGough. If you don't watch this live, it's not as relevant, but my books are all on sale for Christmas right now. You can get all my books for either free or $1.99 or 99 cents. They're all for sale. You can find a link on my website. If you're like, man, that game looked kind of fun, but I could have done that so much better, you're in luck. You can get it. You can get all my games at TalesbyBob.itch.io. And you can get every game I made bundled together for $5. And then you can go run these games and tell me, Bob, that was fun watching you, You really kind of let everyone down, but it was fun. But I now run that game all the time, and we have a blast. So let me tell you how you should have done it, and I look forward to those messages. So, but yeah, as always, I always mess this up. It's always time to go indie now.
Go indie now.